105.9 Academy FM.
The sound of Folkestone.
Hello, my name is Goda and I am interested in finding out about our digestive system and how we get rid of our food. Sadly, I was ill for the interview, so my friend Kieran asked my questions. First, we wanted to know what happens to our food when it goes down to our stomach.
That's a very good question, and I think you could talk forever about this. We'll try and keep it simple. So, why do we need food? Why do we have to eat food?
Isn't it nutrients and vitamins?
Yeah, you've just got to get all the important things to keep your body alive and survive and work properly. And I thought before we talk about going into your stomach, the process actually starts from your mouth. Your saliva, the spit in your mouth, has actually got some important enzymes in it. So as soon as you've got food in your mouth, the enzyme is breaking down and priming that food so that it can go through the next process when it goes down your food pipe and into the stomach. The stomach has got its own environment which creates a good environment. It's very acidy really, but the acid environment makes sure that the enzymes, the other enzymes important in the digestion, can work properly. So you're gradually breaking down food into smaller and smaller molecules and particles, the nutrients that you need. You go on from the stomach into part of the bowel. What we call the next part is the small intestine, and there's still breakdown process going on.
How does the goodness of the foods go to the parts of the body that need it?
That's very interesting too. I hope I can answer this fully for you. But as I mentioned, you've got your food broken down into smaller and smaller molecules, and these are very simple structures, and your body is made such that it's relying on various different types of cells and molecules that are programmed. They're built such that they absorb some particular nutrients, and they're sort of fitting when they absorb through the lining of the gut into the blood system. There's a certain molecule that's going to pick it up, fitting in jigsaw pieces, and then it just knows where that's needed, and it's going to travel up to a place in your body where it can fit into another jigsaw piece, so it knows it's going to the right place.
What happens to the bits that we don't need anymore?
So as your food and stuff is going through parts of your small bowel, which goes on for meters, and then it leads on to what we call the large bowel, which is a shorter piece of tubing, slightly bigger and fatter, and really all the waste is being made there. So all the good stuff is coming out, leaving all the bad stuff as it goes through the bits of the large bowel. And also during that process, again, another exchange process, all the waste stuff from your body, things that it doesn't need, is pushed into the large bowel. It's the transfer system, and that eventually forms your poo, your stool, and then you go to the loo.
Why are there people who can't eat certain foods such as wheat and dairy?
I suppose we can say that bodies sometimes can't tolerate certain foods. I'll pick, for example, a very common condition called celiac disease. And do you know what people with celiac disease can't eat?
Nuts?
Not quite. It's wheat. And it's the actual compound, the chemical called gluten, that doesn't agree with them. And the main reason is because their guts can't absorb the gluten very well. And because it's the gut area, your bowels, where this process is occurring, but actually we can do special tests to look into people with celiac disease, into their stomach and bowels, and we can take little biopsies of the lining of the bowel and look at it under the microscope, and you actually see that their lining is different from a normal person's bowel lining. Their sort of mini cell structure, it's slightly different, and they just haven't got the technicality, the mechanics to absorb that particular chemical. So wheat doesn't agree with them. Do you know what foods contain wheat?
Cereal.
Yeah.
Biscuits.
Yes.
Stuff like that.
Yeah, quite a lot of foods. It's quite unfortunate, really. All nice foods, bread, pasta. You can get foods that are made without wheat. They use different replacements that's easier for their guts. Sometimes they don't taste so good, though, I don't think. And so, yes, if a person with celiac disease eats wheat-based food, because it's all causing trouble in the bowels, the guts, they get a lot of pain, and they may get diarrhea because it's just not suiting them. So that's just one aspect, one reason why people can't tolerate foods, and there are other reasons. There are other foods that people can't tolerate, and there may be other mechanics due to that.
Thank you for coming in. Hope you enjoyed it.
Thank you very much for inviting me.